I want to say thank you to the channel memberships, the people who have joined the channel on YouTube. I want to say thank you to Journey with Kiki, Kimberly Davis, Happy 1178, and Lovely Samira. I hope that you are enjoying your channel member benefits. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this podcast a like if you are on YouTube. And if you are on Twitch, go ahead and follow me. I hope that by the end of this nurturing conversation, you will feel so inclined to subscribe to the channel. At this time, we're going to have our disclaimer, and I will be right back. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome back. If you are a returning supporter, I'm here to give you the disclaimers for this here live. Listen, I do not tolerate disrespect. That's in any way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it's towards me, towards anyone that appears on the screen, towards anyone that appears in the chat. If you have not decided to be a better person, most people will tell you to leave, but I'm going to tell you to stick around because maybe something that is said today will encourage you to do so. Now, I am not a mental health professional. I am just one woman willing to share my personal experiences to let you know two things. One, you are not alone, regardless of how much you feel like you are alone, how many times you have felt that, you are not alone. And number two, you can overcome anything that life throws at you. There will be curse words, there will possibly be tears, but knowing me, it probably will be. And my opinions are my opinions. Your opinions are your opinions. We are here to have a nurturing conversations in regards to our opinions so that we will have a better understanding of each other. That's all I got for right now. I hope that you enjoy this nurturing conversation. Let's get to it. Wait. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button that helps me say suggested on YouTube. Make sure that you type in the chat, also leave a comment, and share it with your friends. That's all I got. Let's get into this conversation. I love you. Peace. Hello, beautiful people. I am so happy to be here right now. Today's conversation, we're going to be talking about the ripple effect and how our actions can heal or hurt. Um, I'm super excited. I am testing out a new setup, so we're going to see how this works. Um, as I said in the disclaimer or at the start of the video, I am Shell. I am Shell on YouTube, Midwest Hummingbird on Twitch. Wherever you are watching this, I hope that by the end of this conversation, you will have a different perspective on how your actions can affect other people. In this episode, we will explore the profound impact our actions have on others and how they can either contribute to healing or causing harm. We will talk about intentions, the importance of having empathy and compassion and self awareness as we interact with other individuals. Um, yeah, I'm super excited about this. I am looking to build and grow out the Nurturing Conversations podcast. I started this podcast mainly because I feel like we do not talk. We as human beings do not talk. With all of the different advancements in technology, we've reduced conversations down to 140 characters or sometimes less. And so I feel like if we have a safe space, I consider the Nurturing Conversation podcast a safe space where people can come and share their opinions or share their thoughts and just release. Just release. Let it go. Um, no longer carry around those things. And so today I wanted to talk about, or we will be talking about the ripple effect. When I started to think about how my actions, I must say, when I talk, I speak from my perspective, the things that I experienced, the things that I've done. From my perspective, I find myself being really positive. I started a journey of healing and self discovery 3 years ago. And I said, I want to wake up every day and be light, love, and positivity. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't had days where I just want to scream and yell or really cuss people out. I have, but I am disciplined where you know the saying where they say, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. I feel like I have really mastered that. I feel like that is my specialty right now. Because sometimes, previous to my journey of healing and self discovery, I felt like I had to be Captain Obvious, state the obvious that it's not, I didn't consider it really being obvious because most people can't see it. But now it's, if I don't have anything to good to say about you or anyone, I will literally just be quiet. I will literally just be quiet. And at this point in my life, I don't want to say anything negative or put out any negative energy towards anyone, anything, any organization, anything like that. And not just because I'm afraid of people, because that ain't it. The thing of it is I believe in karma. I believe in karma. And I don't want that bad karma. I've lived too good of a life to have bad karma. Let's talk about some positive actions and the ripple effect. When it comes to positive actions, it includes being kind to other people, having empathy, and showing compassion for other people. That can come in the form of inspiring people to change, inspiring people to give, inspiring people to do better. We could talk about strengthening relationships where we're showing appreciation. Like today is Father's Day. I want to take this moment right now and say Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, whether they are biological or they are bonus family members. I want to say Happy Father's Day to you. And I only said that because a lot of people make a separation between that. But to me, you're just a father. But I want to say Happy Father's Day. And that's something in and of itself. I spent maybe 20 minutes today sending every guy that I knew a happy Father's Day, and my responses were great. Um, I'm making it my intentions are to make sure that I let people know that I'm grateful for them and that I think that they're doing a good job. I don't think that we share that with people. Again, we don't really talk. So I don't feel like we share how good or how happy we are for people. I don't think we share how how what is the word I'm looking for? We don't share um it is it just escaped me. I don't think we congratulate. There we go. I don't think we congratulate people. I don't think we encourage people. Some people do. I'm not going to say no one's doing it, but I'm going to say it's few and far between. Another way of creating a positive ripple effect is creating a positive atmosphere. And this is what I have been working diligently towards creating a positive atmosphere here with the Nurturing Conversations podcast on any one of my social medias. I create a safe space. I don't, when I go live, I'm not down talking anyone. I'm not bad mouthing, or I'm not saying that that's, whatever you do is what you do, but that's not what I do. I want to have a safe space, and that's mainly because we are currently surviving a global pandemic. And although it's only been 3 years and nobody really talks about it, we're still in it. But I start to think while I'm in the midst of the pandemic, like if I'm having these feelings, if I'm talking about these things, I wonder who's talking to other people. Like, are other people talking about these things? Like I was concerned about the people who experience domestic violence in their home and they like go to work or they go outside of the home, the school, or wherever they were going to escape what they were experiencing, or that was a break from what they were experiencing. Or I was talking about kids who went to school to eat breakfast, lunch, and snack or whatever it was, and then they had to be at home. Like I was thinking about other people. I was thinking about the mental health of a lot of people. Like to go from being outside as much as you want to being like inside and you can't go outside. I'm really cautious about um, when I speak, that's why in my disclaimer, I say I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just a woman who experienced a lot of things. And I'm not saying that my experiences will be your experiences, but I want to share my experience so that in the event you experience anything similar, you will know that you can make it on the other side. You will make it on the other side. It might look a little dark, but you will make it on the other side. And another way is encouraging personal growth. And I share with you guys my experiences or my current journey of healing and self discovery because I want you to know. Like, I was saying to someone that I'll be 43 next Monday, and I was sharing with them, like, these last 3 years have been, I've done some really amazing things in my life, but these last 3 years of this journey of healing and self discovery seem like the most wonderfulest, wonderfulest years ever. I realized so much about myself. And I feel like it all started with me just being open and honest and vulnerable with myself. I feel like it all came about from me expressing compassion and having empathy for myself. You know, when I'm ending my life, I always say it's important for you to love yourself. I realized that I didn't love myself. And you're probably like, what do you mean you didn't love yourself? Like, I was putting everyone else's needs before my own. I was putting everyone else's thoughts, everyone else's requests before my own. And I would just, I don't know how I thought about it, but I would just put myself in the back. I would just say, you know what, I'll get to it when I could get to it. And then one day, life was just like, well, now it's your time to deal with it. And even then, when life like came knocking, it was like, hey, it's your time to deal with it. I was still trying to do for other people. I think I was born to like have compassion and be empathetic towards people. I feel like that's what I was born to do. However, there are boundaries that need to be set when it comes to that. And I have discovered that on this journey of healing and self discovery. So I want to create with whether it's Twitch, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, anything where I am going live, anything where I am sharing my opinions, anything where I'm, doing karaoke or anything that I am doing. I want it to be a place of inspiration. I want to strengthen relationships where you get to know me better, I get to know you better. I want to create a positive atmosphere, and I want to always, always encourage personal growth. And every time you see me talk or you hear me talk, I will be telling you to or encouraging you to go to therapy because it is important. If you spent if you spent more than 24 hours, I was going to try to do years, but I'm going to say if you spent 24 hours dwelling on the past and the things that you have experienced in your life, it is time for you to go to therapy and heal those parts of you that are broken so that you can live your best life. I talked about some positive actions when it comes to ripple effects. Now, let's highlight, or not highlight, but let's point out some negative actions that could, come as a direct result um, of damaging relationships. It could be miscommunications, where even if you have people you grew up with and then you go one way, they go the other way. Like, there's like, you guys didn't have bad blood or anything, but when you grow older, some people just grow apart. Some people see it as a negative, so I just put that in there. There's a potential loss of connection. There's gossiping, backbiting. These terms are what other people call it, but I'm just gonna call it gossiping. That definitely spreading negative energy, spreading negative words. That's not what I'm about. I care more about you being okay and you having a safe space to talk about the things that you are going through rather than, just talking about stuff that is not going to move the needle forward. Um, reinforcing negative patterns. Reinforcing negative patterns, like things that your parents' parents did or things that are just normalized that shouldn't be normalized. things that are normalized that shouldn't be normalized. Thank you for that. That's reinforcing negative patterns. It's time that we change the way we think. It's time that we change the way we move. It's 2023. We are literally, currently, right now, surviving a global fucking pandemic. I'm sorry. I did say there were going to be some cuss words. Not a lot, just some of them. Um, and it's important for us to um, grow and learn. I feel like everyone that has survived, that's right now listening to my voice or watching me right now, I feel like if you haven't taken the time to figure out your purpose in life, let right now or this week or to later on today, let this time be a good time for you to figure that out. Because there's no way I, this is what I said for me, there's no way I survived all that I survived in 2020, 2021, 2022, only to get to 2023 and twiddle my fingers and sit around and just be like, yeah, okay, nah, you know, it's just me being here. What life is treating me so bad. I was dealt the bad hand. That's not me. I realize that I have lived, I've breathed. Since I've breathed, I've been inhaling, exhaling since this pandemic. And life has not been easy for me, but I am still here. And I said, if I make it to 2023, I am going to do everything that I can to ensure that I am light, love, and positivity. I'm going to do everything that I can to accomplish everything I ever set out to do in life. Because I saw at any moment, you're listening to me, you're watching me, at any moment, our lives can change. Any moment. That's why when I be thinking about things I want to do, I just do them. You know, you be like, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow. But what if you don't make it to tomorrow? And that's not to scare you. That's not to say, oh, things is going to happen. It's just a reality. What if you don't make it to tomorrow? If you're a parent and you're like, oh, I want to teach my kids this or I want my kids to know this, what if you don't make it to tomorrow? Another one, I'm sorry, y'all. Another one is psychological and emotional impact. If you know that the things that you are doing in your life, you know they're not good. You know the things you are saying, you know the things that you are doing, it is not good. Why would you continue them? If you know that you're only dating out of hurt, your last relationship you were in, you got hurt, and instead of you addressing the hurt, you just replaced it with something else, and now you're adding more hurt to the hurt that you already experienced. Why not just heal? Why not just take a few minutes or a day or week or however long it takes you to process through things and heal? I feel like sometimes we get in a cycle of making bad decisions. And in that cycle, we continuously make bad decisions, and no one tells us how to make better decisions. So we just continue making bad decisions. It's time for us to grow. It's time for us to grow. I knew when I was getting ready to turn 40, I didn't want to carry around the issues, the mistakes, the hurt of my past. I'm cool with I mean, I'm going to carry around all the positive things that I did, but I don't want to carry that around anymore. It's like baggage. You heard Erica Badu's song Bag Lady. Like you got a diaper bag, a book bag, you got a computer bag, you got all these different bags when you could just have one bag, and that bag is health, wealth, love, peace. I'm carrying all of that. That's what I'm carrying right now. I dealt with the situations between me and my parents and how I felt or how I thought they should have raised me. I dealt with that. I spoke about that. I was having a conversation, and I was as I'm talking to the individual that I was talking to, I realized immediately. Again, I'm not a mental health professional or anything, but I realized immediately. You ever talk to somebody and you realize something about them that you know that you have like overcome or you have that you currently deal with? There was a meme that said, anything that you don't like about somebody is something that you need to work on. So I was talking to this individual and I was looking at them, and it was like I looked at myself. like completely. I was looking at them, but it was like I looked at myself and I was like, oh, I got some work to do. I got some work to do while I was talking to them. And so I said, I came home, I sat, and I was just like, I just want to be the freest I could ever be. That's what I want. I just want to be free. I want to be free from fear. I want to be free from doubt. I just want to be free. And I realized that a lot of the fear, the doubt, the insecurities, all of those things were coming as a result of me not forgiving myself and as a result of me not believing. Unforgiveness and doubt were two things that kept me from being great. Not anymore, though. It's a no. It's a no. I wake up every day. I meditate. Sometimes I forget to hit go live while I'm meditating, but I will get better with that. I'm going to get better with that. But when I'm meditating, I speak out my intentions. I speak out what I want to do for the day, the week, the month. I speak out everything that I want to do. And what I realize about myself is when I speak it out loud, I become disciplined in doing it when I speak it out loud. If I be like, yeah, I'm going to write a book, and then, I go about my life doing the things I do, that book would be far and few between until somebody say, hey, I'm writing a book. And then I'll think, oh, yeah, I forgot about the book that I was writing. But no, now I put it on a list. I have a to-do list. I have whiteboards around my room right here. And I have a list of things that I want to do before 2023 is over with. I I said I want to be able to put people in positions where they can win. And I don't mean like, oh, they're going to become millionaires. Now, that could be a possibility, because if you do the work, it will come. But I want to put people in positions where they can win, not just money, but like where they can win, where they feel pride about completing things, where they feel great, where their self esteem rises to the highest level when they have the opportunity to do things. Right now, I have a concert that the second concert in my music concert series, my live music concert series, is this Thursday. And so I have band rehearsals, I have artisan band rehearsals. So the last artisan band rehearsal, the artists came in. Many of them have never performed with a live band. I don't know if you're an artist, but let me break it down for you real fast. If you you go to most shows, there's a DJ and they're playing the music and people are rapping over their music. I took away those elements because I feel like I encourage music artists. I help with development. I help them with stage, walking, getting comfortable on the stage. I help them with controlling or not controlling, conducting the band. That's conducting. I got to get these words. But I help them work with the band. I help them, connect with the audience. I help them like build their stage presence, right? And so we're at rehearsal, and I noticed that one guy, he was really nervous. And I was like, hey, you got this. Your music is amazing. All you basically doing is performing live. And he's like, okay. So the band was playing, and he's so tuned into the band, he forgot that he's supposed to be rapping. And so I'm like, see, that's what needs to happen, though. So I'm telling him, like, that's what he needs to happen. You need to feel it. I don't know about y'all, but I love going to concerts because the music in the concert is totally different than what you hear on the record. So I'm at these rehearsals, and I am getting live because the band, so the last rehearsal, one of the band members couldn't make it. So when someone else filled in, and so they had to learn the music like right on the spot. When I tell y'all, they learned that music and they were jamming. But that's the thing that's what I want to do. Like, that's the ripple effect that I hope to have, where I put people in positions where they can do what they love. They can play the instruments they want to play. They can perform on the stages where they want to perform. They can write the songs. They can sing the songs. Like, that's what I want to do. And making money from all of that. Like, that's the ripple effect. Like, this concert series, I hope that the ripple effect is more music artists understanding the time, the energy, everything that is necessary to put on a live show. I'm just giving them 20 minutes to perform. And do you know, like, some artists, and this is no dig, but some artists struggle. with a 20-minute set. Because usually, they just plugging and playing, a DJ playing, and they just rapping and, rapping over their music or whatever. But me, it's like 20 minutes. You could take the video footage. There's like, if there's festivals or anything that you want to perform at, take that footage and send it to them. The crowd gonna rock with you. It is gonna be good. I've said all that because when I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring it back for 2023. I watched when I did it in 2019. Oh, it was the most amazing thing ever. I literally just woke up and was like, I feel like we need to have a independent music artist concert, live groove concert series. And people was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, we're gonna put a live band. We're gonna put the artist. And a lot of people were scared because it's like it's new. It's hey, who are you? What are you doing? So as the pandemic hit, I was watching like, man, how do I like? Should I bring it back or should I do it? I should do it virtually. Like I battled within myself a lot about doubt if I could do it. Why would I do it? Why would even people come and be on my show? And then like I said, 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, my life was like, hey, there were so many instances where it was like, hey, it's time to go. And then I was like, no, I'm not ready to go yet. And so this last time I was like, hey, because life is short, I'm going to go ahead and do everything I wanted to do because in the event that something happens to me, I want that ripple effect to be like, yeah, if you're an artist, let me make sure my stuff is registered. Um, Let me make sure my stuff is registered. I'm sorry, guys. Let me make sure my stuff is registered. Let me make sure my performance is registered. Let me make sure I got splishy. I want them to know all of those things. So before I do anything, every morning I get up and I meditate. Like I said, sometimes I be forgetting. I try to do it on my social media, but sometimes I be forgetting because once the music starts playing, I'm instantly like, okay, here's what I want to happen this week. Like when I get up in the morning today, I had a whole list of things that I need to like prepare before tomorrow even comes. So when I get up in the morning, I have a performance tomorrow. I have artist band rehearsals this week. I got a spot. I'm gonna tell y'all about that in a minute. I got artist band rehearsals. I got to make sure all the sponsors, everything that I need to have for the concert series on Thursday is there. There's so many things I have to do this weekend. So I like to make sure that I am in a calm space. I might even go fishing this week. I think I'm going to throw that in there. But I think about the power of setting positive intentions. And so that's why I meditate in the morning. Like when I get ready to go to sleep, I I try to get at least 8 hours. I try to. I try to get at least 8 hours because I feel like when I'm well rested, I can do some amazing things when I'm well rested. When I'm not rested, you get a little cranky, you got a little irritation. You don't try to forecast it on other people, but it happens. You forecast it on other people, you be a little snappy. And for me, no, I don't want to do that. I want the ripple effect when you meet me or you talk to me or you come to the podcast and you watch, you know that I'm just here for light, love, and positivity. Um, Another point that I want to talk about is healing actions. I I think a lot of times we take for granted people that will come or people that will listen to us or people that will check in on us. I know like there's this thing where it says check on your people. And where everybody was like, "Oh, check on your people, check on your people." And then when people who appeared to be strong started to unalive themselves, everyone started to say, check on your strong fans, check on your strong friends. And I was just sitting here saying, why aren't we checking on people anyways? Why don't we call our best friends or call our cousins or grandmothers or grandfathers? I get it. Families are what they are. But at the same time, do you remember in 2020 where we couldn't see people? We couldn't see babies being born. If people passed away, we couldn't go to their funerals. Like, I don't know how 2020 was for y'all, but for me, 2020 definitely changed how I view life, how I view my interactions with different people, not even different people, people, period. It definitely changed all of that. And I definitely said, I don't want anything that I do to have a negative, like, I don't want to leave a negative effect. Or I don't want to have a negative, like when I'm talking to anybody. I don't want to do that. And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to people please. It's just I'm being more mindful and more disciplined in myself. If I know that you are talking and you are starting to irritate me, I know how to remove myself from that situation. I know how to de-escalate the irritation, and I know how to move on to something different. I've learned that on this journey of healing and self-discovery. I'm not saying like, oh, I got it in the bag, because some days I struggle a little bit, especially with people who are inconsiderate, especially with people who are inconsiderate, who are insensitive, who don't read the room. You ever heard somebody say read the room? You ever walk in a gas station and there's somebody sitting outside of the gas station and they're just asking for money, like money or food or whatever? I've seen people literally do like really mean and hurtful things to them. And I'm just like, they're just asking for food. They're just asking for money. I had this thing um, 8 years ago. That seems like such a long time. 8 years ago, I was homeless, right? But before I became homeless, I told y'all a few minutes ago, like, I feel like I'm just empathetic. Like, I have empathy. Like, that's like you, I just bleed that. That's just who I am. That's just what I do. So I would always give to them. And I would say, in the event that I am ever in a situation like that, because whether you believe it or not, you ever heard somebody say you like a paycheck away? Before it was like 2 or 3 paychecks. Now it's like you a paycheck away from being homeless. Yeah. If you ain't been paying attention to the news, you better pay attention to the news, because they telling us what's going to happen. We And I'm not just talking about local news. I'm talking about world news. They telling us. So I would see the people and I would give to them. I would give them food. I would give them money. I would, just have a conversation with them sometimes. Just talk to them. And it was the most amazing thing, right? One day I was riding with my nephew and he had a party, and it was like post, I don't know why people are saying post COVID when we're still in COVID, but it was like 2021. I'll say it's 2021. It's not like the height of COVID, but it's like they started to let us out. And so when you go get pizza from Little Caesars, they will give you pizza. And if it's messed up, they can't take it back. So we had an extra pizza. And I'm riding home and I was like, I don't want this pizza to go to waste. And so the man is standing, we're pulling up. The man is standing in the on the island. And so I'm driving and he's standing on the island and he has the sign. He's like, I'm hungry. Please help. And so my nephew was like, TT, he has a sign. And I was like, okay. So I turned back around. As my nephew, I pulled over, got the pizza, grabbed a couple of cans of soda, or not soda, juice, and turned the car around. And I pulled up and I handed the guy the pizza, and I handed the guy, and I handed the guy the juice, right? And my nephew was like, "Oh my God, Titi, that was so amazing." And I was like, "What was amazing?" He was like, "That you just gave him that food. He had a sign said he was hungry and you gave him the food." And I wasn't even thinking about like how it would affect my nephew. I was mainly thinking like, this man is hungry and he needs to eat. And I'm going to shout out my mom right now, because I've seen her feed people, clothe people. I've seen this woman do it with like, my mom is an amazing person. Oh, sorry. Didn't know I was going to get emotional right there. Anywho, so I gave the man the pizza and a drink, and I asked him if he, wanted some water, if he needed anything else. He was like, "No, ma'am, this is more than enough." And so I'm pulling away, and my nephew is looking at me, and he's got tears in his eyes. And I'm now at this point, I'm crying because I'm like, oh my God, that was such a, awesome experience. And my nephew was like, Titi, that was so nice of you. That was so nice of you to give that man food. And I'm just sitting over here like, I'm bawling because I didn't think. And then I was like, the ripple effect is my nephew is going to see when he see people, he's going to give to them. And now I said that because sometimes if you've seen people that's sitting outside of the gas station or sitting in the middle, I don't know if they do that where you live, but they stand outside the gas station or they stand on the little island while you're driving, and people are so mean to them. They tell them to get a job and get up off their lazy butt, and I'm just like, we don't know why those people is out there, and I don't think it's my job to police as to why they're out there. I just know that I want them to be safe. I know that I want them to be fed, and I want them to be warm. I help if I could, sit down and have a conversation with them and talk to them. I do that. I do that. And sometimes when you talk to people, they don't want to be out there. They just have mental illness that has not been taken care of. Some people were in domestic violence situations, so they just ran, and that's all they. Some people have addictions. There's so many different things, and part of me being an empathetic person, part of me having compassion is sometimes I just feel a lot. You know, I feel a lot, and I try to like keep myself secluded. Sorry, that just kind of like I try to keep myself. I I want to say secluded is the word I say. I be in my house a lot because what I was realizing is when I be outside a lot is there's a lot of like there's a lot of sadness. That's why I don't be on social media because there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot. And as I was going to therapy, I realized that I'm possibly, or I should say, I am an empath. And that is the most weirdest thing to me because when I was younger, I just thought like I really cared. That's what I thought. But it overwhelms you. Like, I don't watch the news, I don't watch anything. I look at the news, but I don't like watch it. Like, I'm not an avid watcher. I like to read. I'll read more than I watch. And so I just realized like all the different things that's going on in the world is a lot. It's a lot. Like, I don't want my actions. When I think about you go to the fast food restaurant. We've all gone to the fast food restaurant, and the people have an attitude. And most times, your first thing is to what? Pop off, right? you if you don't like your job, you shouldn't come to work, right? But at the same time, you have to think about how many people have come through that line and cussed them out. How many times they have told them that this cash register don't work. The ice cream machine, if you go to McDonald's, the ice cream machine don't work. If you go to Popeyes, they don't ever got no biscuits. Sometimes they don't be having chicken or honey. You go to it's those things. Like, if you're a parent, right? I don't have kids, right? I don't have kids, but I say this because of people be like, if you don't have kids, you shouldn't be talking to people who have kids. Well, I'm going to talk to you because while I don't have kids, I raised a whole bunch of them. I raised kids who now have kids and their kids have kids. So, having said that, if you are a parent and you are here listening or watching, I want to say something to you. The things that you do right now affects your children. And when I say do, I don't mean the things that I don't mean only mean the things that you actually do. I also mean the things that you indirectly do. If you allow disrespect in your household, they see that. They see that, they understand that, and then it becomes a norm for them. You probably don't want to believe it. I was talking to someone and I was saying, when I went to therapy, my therapist said, you suffer from post traumatic stress disorder. I literally had a breakdown because I was like, I've never been a war. I've never, I just thought those things only happen to people that went to war. That was my thought. I didn't think me growing up in a hood hearing gunshots or me experiencing the things that I experienced in life was post traumatic stress disorder. So when my therapist is telling me these things, I'm looking at her like, get the fuck out of here. I ain't been a war. I just been at home, going through life, experiencing things. And she started to run down the things that cause post traumatic stress disorder. And I was sitting there looking, I was crying. I couldn't even look at her anymore because I had so many tears. Like, you ever had a cry? This is how you know, like, when you are serious, like your body is ridding you of those things. She was going down a list of things, and I had so much water in my eye, like they were just popping out. Like I kid you not, it was like a faucet just turned on and it was dripping and running and it was everything. And I was just sitting there looking like, holy cow. And then I started to think about how many other people I knew that were suffering from post traumatic stress disorder, but it's never talked about. Like they've never been diagnosed, it's never been talked about. And I'm not a therapist. I'm gonna say that again. I am not a therapist. I'm not a mental health professional. But if you put one and two together, I was talking to someone. I was saying we were talking about pornos. Now, if you're an adult, stay with me. If you are not an adult, plug your ears. I was saying how when you are introduced to sex at a young age, your appetite, everything that would be normal for you isn't normal anymore because you were introduced to something else, and now the normal way, I hope y'all picking up what I'm saying. The normal way that you would be aroused or you would experience the sensation of, you know, adult activities. You don't have that anymore because you've pleasured yourself for so long. There we go. You've pleasured yourself for so long. So now you have to do above and beyond things to become aroused or pleasured. And so I'm engaging in a conversation with this person and they're talking and it's like, holy shit, I didn't even think about it like that. And I was like, think about it, right? If you're a guy, happy Father's Day. That was so random for me to throw that in there. But if you're a guy, right, think about when you pleasure yourself, right? And it comes time for you to engage in intercourse with someone else. It takes a lot more because you've exhausted your stimuli. Sorry, y'all. I don't know how I got there, but I just wanted to say that maybe you're somebody who's watching pornos and you're like trying to figure it out. It's definitely you're overstimulated. Again, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just somebody who had a lot of sex in my life. And I read a lot of books and I know a lot, but I'm not a professional. But I can tell you this, if you take one moment and just think about the first time you engaged into it, and then after watching pornos, how you think, how you act, how you move, everything after that, it has shifted the way that you look at things. Even if you think about this, right? When people get into relationships now, you know, before it could be like, we're going to go on a date, we're going to hang out, it's going to be multiple, more than one dates. Now it's like, we're gonna go to dinner and then we're gonna go back to the crib and we're gonna do, and there's this new thing now, and I'm saying this because this is a ripple effect. Like, we are in a social media age. I'm surrounded by guys. If you're a woman, listen to what I'm about to say right now. I'm surrounded by guys. We live in a social media age. I have been told by the guys that I'm around that they videotape a lot of women. And at first, I thought, like, do these women know that they being videotaped? And he was like, yeah, some of them actually perform for the camera. And I said, what? How do you have time to pick up a camera? I don't know where I be at or what I've been thinking. Maybe I'm just old, and they're telling me the things that these people are doing. And I was just like, that makes sense of OnlyFans. It makes sense of that. But I want you to think about the ripple effect of that, right? If you're somebody who's engaging in a lot of adult activities, right? Number one, there's STDs. The STD rates, despite being in a global fucking pandemic, is rising, and they're high. And a lot of them are rising in women and youth, males, of course, but in women and youth. Women and youth, they're rising. Um, there's a lot of things that come with it. I always wondered, right? When I think about engaging in adult activities, I think about the possibility of bringing a baby into this world. I think so many people just be caught up into the, ooh, we about to get it on, and they forget about that part. But me, it's like, let me just get a minute, because I have to think. could I imagine myself? Could I envision having a baby with you? Hmm. I'm gay, so that don't even, But I'm just saying, like, this is what I think people should do. Could I imagine if I feel like you're crazy and we're not even like, we're just doing adult situations, but what if you get pregnant? So many like ripple effects. You see what I'm saying? We can be like cool, and then we have whatever adult situation, and then you become pregnant. Now, what are we supposed to do? Oh, I didn't want to have a baby by you, and it's all of those things. So it's about the actions. It's about the decisions that you make. I want to talk to parents right now for a minute. This is Pride Month. Happy Pride if you are celebrating. If you have a child that identifies as a lesbian, gay, transgendered, non binary, or any one of the letters of the alphabet mafia, I want to talk to you for a moment. I know that religion has told you that God hates homosexuals. That's what religion, whatever religion you believe in, that's what they tell you, that God hates it. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you that God is love. And if you allow someone else to tell you how to love your child, how to interact with your child, I want to tell you this. There's no way anyone should be able to tell you how to interact with your child. And I know you're like, but you're trying to tell me. I'm telling you, if your child identifies as a member of the LGBTQI plus A community, the alphabet mafia, any one of those things, I'm telling you to love your child. I don't know if you've noticed, this world is it's not the prettiest. It's not the most loving, but the least your child asks for you, from you. It's free to love them. Now, I get it. You probably grew up in whatever religion you grew up in. I'm not going to start naming them because I could go down the list. But at the same time, that is your child. He, she, them, her, they grew on the inside of you. You connected with them. You did everything you could to protect them from the world, from other people, from yourself. You did everything you could. And then when they got here and when they got to a certain age and it might not agree with what you agree with, just love them. Love them because this world is unkind. Love them because families are unkind. And the most safest space that a child could ever or should ever be in is their home. Their home. Your home. The place where you created for them to have a roof over their head, food on their table, and clothes over. Your home should be the most safest space for them. They shouldn't have to be feeling like I can't be who I am because my mother or my father won't love me. Have you guys, that's another thing that I've been thinking about since the pandemic. Like, because homosexuality is like a huge thing for people. And I'm not saying that it's not a huge thing because I am a proud card carrying member of the Alphabet Mafia. But what I'm saying is people have such hatred for it. There are so many people that have unalived themselves because they didn't feel loved, because they didn't feel that people cared, because they didn't feel they were mistreated by their parents. They were kicked out by their parents. Like, I get it. I get you don't agree with my lifestyle. I get that. But at the same time, you are my parent. You are supposed to love me and nurture me. And I could talk about this for forever, but I'm going to say cultivate a safe space for your child, for your young adult, for your teenager, for your grown child. If you are afraid of it, if you don't like it because you are afraid of it, because you don't know, pick up a book, talk to somebody, learn. I know some people are older and it's, learning gets a little difficult, but learn. There's so many YouTubes. Watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm just throwing a little comedy in there, but learn. Learn so that you could be the best parent you can to your child. Learn so that you could be the support system that they need, because whether you believe it or not, most people just be like, oh, people just flicking a switch off and on and they're going to become gay and not gay, gay and not gay. I personally, in my opinion, I feel like people are born this way. So A lot of people I've witnessed a lot of people who be gay and just be gay, and they are afraid of how their parents will accept them, or their families will accept them, or the church will accept them. So they get husbands and they get wives, and they still be gay. They be suppressing the gay. I'm suppress the gay. I don't. It's 2023. We have survived a global fucking pandemic. I think it's time for you to come out of the closet. I think it's time for you to just walk in who you are. And that's to you if you are watching and you want to come out the closet, but you're not sure if people are going to love, respect, or appreciate you at this point. Um, I think the most important person for you, that you should want to love you is you. I think that's the most important person. Because at the end of the day, people are going to people. They gonna people. One day they your friends and they gonna hang out with you, and then if they find out that you are gay, and I'm saying this because this was happened to me. Like I've been gay my entire life, right? Gay my entire life. But then when I came out, I don't even that sounds weird to me. I'm not saying coming out sounds weird, but I'm saying to say that I came out because I was just being gay because that's what I was. Like people started to treat me different, and I was just looking at them like, honey, I've been gay since as long as you know me. You just are finding out or you're afraid. And a lot of people, I'm going to say this if you're watching, a lot of people are afraid of how their association with you will make them look. Ripple effect. Everything I'm talking about has a ripple effect. And for me, it's like, you should be happy to know me, not just because I'm gay, but I'm a really amazing person, right? I be thinking like, how did we come to a point where people are afraid? It's like if they be by you, they're gonna have a gay touch. It's like it's not even like that. If you've been hiding that you want to be gay and you on the DL, or that's not a touch. Like that's something you have to deal with on the inside of you. It's what you have to deal with you. It's a ripple effect. And I say, someone was like, I don't think parents should let their kids decide what their gender or whatever, because kids don't know. And I was like, I don't know which kids you be talking about, but kids know. And here's the thing, right? Parents always be like, oh, they're just kids, but kids are sponges. They're really, really smart. And I'm going to say that because kids remember things when we adults be forgetting, they remember. And so when that lady was telling me about post traumatic stress disorder, and I was going back over the different things that I experienced in my life, not heard of or not saw, but like actually experienced myself, I said, oh my God. Oh my God. That explains why I would have, like, I would feel like I'm having a heart attack when I be going around large crowds of people, or when I go around too many. I would have like real life, like I thought I was dying, only to find out it was panic attacks. I started developing different things, and I just was like, you know what? I don't want to do, like, if you've ever had a panic attack, those things are terrifying. I'm gonna tell you, I had a panic attack. We were supposed to be going to Colorado. I'm gonna make it to Colorado one day. We were on the highway. It is snowing outside, and the closer we got away from where I live, it was like my anxiety was through the roof. And I said, I am so sorry, guys, but can we pull over? It is snowing and we're on the highway. And so we pull over, and I get out of the car and I take my shoes off. And I'm like, okay, it's not working. So I take my socks off. I'm standing on the highway in the snow with my socks off. I'm laughing about it right now. But when it was happening, I was terrified. I had to understand that it was my body's way of telling me, or telling me I need to deal with and process things. It was how I was like coping with things. And then I was telling my therapist what happened. And she's like, there's something. And I knew. I feel like we know the things that we need to work on. We know the things that we need to quit. We know the things that we should say when people are being disrespectful to us. We know that we shouldn't be in relationships, situationships. We know, but it feels good to us. It feels good. I ain't gonna lie. It feels good. What I want to encourage you in 2023, I want to encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and live. Don't just keep doing things because, oh, I'm working at this job because I have enough money to pay my bills, but you want to start a YouTube or write a book, or you want to go, excuse me, you want to go to school and get your CDLs and start a trucking business. Do that thing. And I'm saying that because at any moment, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to Walmart, you can go to church, you can go to school. At any moment, your life could change. You can get in the car and go to the corner. You might not even make it to the corner. And I'm saying that because so many times we have hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and we lay them to the side to make sure that everybody else is okay. 2023, you should think about you. I was going to say 2023 should be the year of me. You think about you. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you always wanted to do? I said when I came into 2023, I'm going to have more documentaries. My music put in more documentaries. I'm going to score more documentaries. I am going to be a public speaker. I had a whole list of things. I literally just told someone, I said, I wanted to be booked and busy, right? This last week had me scratching my head. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that because I got to be more specific, whatever the word is, with my requests because I need to find some time to sleep. I need to find some time to play my video games. You need time to do that? Yes. I need to find time to sit out in the backyard with my feet in the grass, looking up at the sky and just being there. I need some time just to exist. Last week, this week, and next week. After that, I'm going on vacation. I'm not doing, I mean, I'm going to, still do my YouTube and my Twitch. I'm going to still do that, but I'm going on vacation. No business, just all fun. Y'all going to see me in the nature. I'm going to be hugging trees, catching fish, all of that. I just want to go fish. I want to do a lot of things to help me um, be, be me. That restores the me before life, the me before all the things that happen to me, the compassionate, empathetic me. I want to restore that. I want to raise everyone around me personal awareness. Like I think, when we were growing, I grew up in the '80s, so when we were growing up, it was like community. Like it was like everybody in the community looked after. It was a village. Like that's what it was. And so I'm saying to the people around me now, it's like, hey, we have young kids, right? We have young kids, and everybody should be doing their part to make sure that they are, their schoolwork is done. Make sure that they feel safe, that they eat. Like we should be doing our part to make sure that they feel loved, right? And I say that because again, our homes should be the safest space. If y'all have noticed, if you ever come here before and you watch the podcast, I usually have my nieces and nephews in here, but I'm trying to do something different, and they're on the other side of the door crying, and that's why I'm trying to I'm not trying to rush the podcast, but I'm working on that part of me where I hear them cry, and it's like I know that they're okay. They're just on the other side of the door crying because they can't get in, but I don't want them to have that feeling where you heard me crying, you didn't help. And I know I'm not a parent, but as an auntie, the greatest auntie in the world, that means a lot to me. Like my little niece, like she literally wherever I move, she's at the bottom of my foot. Wherever I move, if I'm sitting right here, it's like I'm just gonna go into the next room. Next thing you know, you hear she's right behind me. They love me and I love them. And I want to make sure that as much as I can, they don't have to experience the things that I experience. And not because I'm God and I could alleviate all of that, but I know the mistakes that I made. I know the things that I did wrong, and I want to show them the right way. I remember when I was growing up, I would hear guys talk about, when I have kids, blah, 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 kids. And it's Father's Day. And I'm going to say this: if you are a father and you're watching this, if you are someone who is you have kids and you have fathers, your children have fathers who are still alive. And if they are not alive, my condolences to you. But allow those fathers to be in the child life. And I'm going to say this because I don't have kids, but I will say this: it is important that they have love from everyone that they can have love from. That is, how did I want to say it? I'm going to say it how I'm going to. That is not manipulative love. That is not love that is based on I'm the adult and you're the child, but based on genuine I love you. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll say this: there are predators everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Sometimes people homes, sometimes people churches, schools. There are literal predators on the internet. That phone, that tablet that your child has, there are predators there. And if you do not show them the love, if you do not ask them how their day were going, if you do not care, if you do not show them compassion or empathy, you don't do that in the safety of your home, those people will find your child. They will find them. You probably like, oh no, I'm with my child all the time. But if they have a phone or a tablet, they will find them. McDonald's, they will find them. School, Walmart, church, they will find them. And these people are not nice. They're not. You know that they are not nice. So, any event to keep those people as far away from your family members as possible, let's start talking to each other. Let's create safe spaces where people can come and talk to us. Let's forget about a lot of people are so focused, or I say focused, so in tune with people judging them, that they hold things in. When this is what I say, right? This is my opinion. And my disclaimer I gave: my opinions are my opinions and your opinions are your opinions. But here's what I say: people are going to judge you regardless of what you do. Whether you have money, you don't have money, whether you're tall, short, fat, skinny, dark, chocolate, light, yellow, white, purple, pink, blue. You got long hair, you got short hair. If people want to judge you, they are going to do that. That's why it's important for you to look inside yourself and determine that thing that keeps you from loving yourself or believing in yourself, and uproot it. Many of us don't believe this, but I'm going to say a lot of the things that we as adults are struggling with currently is a direct result of the things that we experienced in our youth. Again, I am not a mental health professional, but I think about it, right? If you're little and somebody told you that they were going to do something for you and they didn't, what do you think happened? You develop mistrust for people, right? When you develop mistrust for people, they can tell you that they are going to give you the sun, the moon, and stars. And if you don't believe them, that's mistrust. Someone tells you, oh, I love you, I appreciate you, I respect you, all of that. And because the last person you were with cheated on you, now you don't trust this person because the last person you were with cheated on you. Your job. We don't even got to do relationship. We can say your job, right? You got a job, you busting your butt trying to make sure this is, here comes a new position, and you like, yeah, I'll be great in this position. And then you go to apply for the position, and who always get it? Who always get it? Who always get it? That's obvious. It's either the boss's son, daughter, niece, nephew, cousin, auntie, uncle, or that person that you train. You ever train somebody and then they got the position that you train? Yeah. This world out here is cutthroat. So what I'm saying to you is I want you to create a space of compassion, a space of empathy. I want you to love yourself. I want you to look inside yourself and find those things and heal them. I want you to go to therapy. I know you're like, I ain't going to therapy because they're going to be trying to put stuff in my head. They're going to be trying to tell me. Listen, therapy was the greatest decision. I made a lot of great decisions, but that was one of the greatest decisions that led me to the spot where I am in right now. And I will forever be grateful. And I will continue to say therapy. Thank you, Rochelle Vanderpool, for coming. I truly appreciate it. And I'm sorry I wasn't responding in the chat. I just was talking. I'm a talker. If you haven't figured it out by now, I am a talker, but I do appreciate you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you the next time that I go live. If you are a parent, love on your kids. Love on them. Not just your kids, your young adults, teenagers. No, you don't like what they do, but at the same time, they're your children. You got to let them learn. Let them, and I know I say let them learn, but at the same time, you have to teach them. Teach them. Teach them how to be great. And how do you teach them to be great? You be great. If you have things, unresolved issues that you have with your parents, resolve that. Resolve that. Because imagine, right, you're a parent and your kid, you're doing the best that you can for your child. You're doing the best that you can. You're giving them everything they could possibly want. You're giving them everything that you didn't have because you don't want them to live the life that you lived. And then they grow up and they be like, my mother didn't love me. She just bought me stuff. That's going to make you feel real shitty. And I'm saying that because you know that you will feel real shitty. Think about it. If you talk about your mother like, yeah, they ain't do. Think about how you will feel when your child grows up and you did everything you could for your child. And they turn around and say they felt like you didn't love them or they felt like you didn't do anything for them. You are going to feel real shitty. So to prevent that a little bit, because, some people are just ungrateful. Do the best that you can. Talk to your child. I was so grateful to have the conversation with my mother and my father and understand where they were when I was born and where they were as I was growing up, because it helped me understand how they raised me. It helped me understand their thought process. It helped me understand so much that right now it's like, oh my God, I can see that. I could see no one talking to my African American father about grief or showing him how to process grief. So he just did what he knew to do. I can see that. I could see my mother taking the reins of being the oldest and making sure that everyone is okay. So that's why she makes sure everyone is okay. I can see that. But had I not talked to my parents, I would still be walking around here with bitterness and anger and all of these different things. And it's like, no, I'm about to be 43 years old. I can't be walking. I don't want to hold on to that. I don't want to be like, yeah, my mama mistreated me or my daddy didn't love me, or I don't want to do that. And if that's what you're doing, I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Don't misread what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Take the time to heal. If that happened when you were 10 and you like 45, you need to heal that. Because maybe that's why you haven't given any guy that ever come into your life a real chance, because you're stuck on the fact that your father didn't, or if you looking at him, the way your father treated your mother treated your father. Like, we have to heal. We have to heal those things. We have to let those things go. I realized that I had to let a lot of shit go, a lot of shit that wasn't even mine. Like, shit just happened to me, and I was carrying it because it happened to me. My therapist was like, oh, you could put that down. I was like, wait, what? I could put that down. I didn't have to carry that all of me. Oh, but that's what nobody ever tells us. We can put that down. That's not yours. Don't carry that. That's not yours. What happened to you was what happened to you. Those people that did that to you, those people need healing. They needed healing. Those people need help. You need to heal. You need to forgive yourself for whatever happened. Forgive yourself. I know people be talking about forgiveness and it's always like, oh, well, I need to. Forgiveness for me, it starts with you. You could forgive everybody, but if you haven't forgiven yourself for the decision, if you haven't forgiven yourself for the decisions that you made, if you haven't forgiven yourself for the decisions that you didn't make, If you haven't forgiven yourself for the decisions that you put yourself in situations, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. The first person you should show love and compassion is yourself. Forgive yourself. Maybe you made a bunch of mistakes in your life. Guess what? You have to forgive yourself for those mistakes. How do you expect anybody else to forgive you if you haven't forgiven yourself? If you don't forgive yourself, you're going to constantly be out here thinking people judging you. You're going to constantly be out here thinking people looking down on you, when in reality, you're just looking down on yourself. And people are responding to the things that you put out there. Forgive yourself. It is now time to heal. Create the environment of positivity. Create the positive environment where you feel safe. Safe to talk about your emotions. Safe to free yourself from those things. I know it's a lot of people. It's a lot of fathers. If you are a father, if you are someone that's dating a father, you know what I mean. If you have brothers, uncles, cousins, whoever, talk to them. A lot of fathers are just out here and they're happy to be a father. Some fathers don't even have the opportunity to be a father because there are people who try to hold them from that. Some have good reasons and some just do it out of spite, out of bitterness. I'm not here to tell you which one you are, but think about it, right? Remove yourself from the equation and think about the child. You're probably like, I'm doing what's best for my child. But in actuality, you just mad that they moved on to somebody else that's male or female. You just mad because they won't do the things that you want them to do. They won't marry you, whatever it is. You're just in your feelings right now. But if you put the child first and think about them, like I would hear people say, oh, I stayed in that relationship for my kids. And I'll just look at them like, in my opinion, you didn't stay for those kids. You stay for yourself, because those kids have no idea. You ever talk to somebody who were younger and their parents stayed together, whatever, and they get older and you start talking about, it's like, I don't know why my mother stayed with my father. I don't know why my father stayed with my mother. And you're looking like, and you're the parent and you're looking like, what do you mean? No, that's just you. Again, sometimes we have this idea, okay, you know what? My kids is gonna have a 2-parent household, or when I get married, or when I have my money or become a millionaire, I'm gonna do this. When in actuality, you only want to do those things because you don't have it. Like people say, parenting don't come with a rule book, and then when you have kids, it's like, this shit is hard. I don't have kids, but I know I raised a lot of kids, and that shit is hard. Potty training, hard. Helping them do their homework, hard. I know all the parents that was at home helping their kids do the homework in the last 3 years that had to switch from going to class and then you had to sit in front of the computer. I know that was hard, especially if you're not, computer literate and that's not your thing. And they asking you to help with algebra and you looking like, I ain't been to school in 20 years. What I'm supposed to? It's hard. But that's where you build a community around you of people that could do that. Somebody in your community is a math teacher. Hey, my baby need help with math or algebra. Somebody in your community is a basketball coach. Your baby got aspirations of playing basketball. Connect them. That's what we should be doing, building. I don't know how we got so far away from the village or the community, but I feel like we need to go back there, because if we don't, like right here where I live, right, they have the Kia boys. I don't know if they have more where y'all live, but they be wreaking havoc out here. And when I say boys, I mean like these are real young guys. Real young guys. And then you have the older guys that's trying to reach them and trying to talk to them, but these young kids are so that's what I'm gonna say. They're not bad. They're just misguided. They just need love. That's what it is. People need love. Next week, I'm going to talk about, not next week, one of these Sundays for the podcast, I'm going to talk about touch starvation. Like for 3 years, some of us couldn't go out. We only could talk to the people that we were in our house with. We don't hug each other. We don't tell each other how much we love. We don't do that. If we do, it's like rarely. It's like, oh, if we at a funeral or at a wedding or something, and then the next time we get together is when? I was so excited. Last weekend we had a mini family reunion for my family, and it was so dope. I mean, like I talk to my great aunts all the time, like my grandmother's sisters, and so I talk to my cousins all the time. But to actually see them, like I haven't seen them since COVID, so to actually see them and get to hug the necks of my great aunts who are still here and just be around them is just a lot for me. And you're probably like, well, you're a really emotional person, but hey, that should be a lot for you to say my family is still here. You know, you should take time to do that. If you have kids, you should ask them what their day was like. You should talk to them. If your child went from being a rambunctious or always out and happy, go loving child, and now they just stay in their room, there is something that needs to be addressed there. If your child always wants to go out and hang out with certain people and they don't want to hang out with them certain people and now they choose to be at home, there's something that needs to be addressed there. You picking up what I'm putting down? Talk to your people. Don't just wait till something traumatic happens to them and say, oh my God, I didn't see the signs, I didn't know, because we all know. And I'm gonna say this from my chest. We all know when people are not themselves. We know that. And some of us, a lot of the religious people will be like, well, I'm praying for you. At some point, you have to like bypass prayer and go over there and sit with them or talk to them or take them to lunch or dinner or something and be like, hey, what the fuck is up with you? And I don't mean to like harsh like that, but that's what we need to do. We need to stop just being passive and saying, oh, God gonna help them when we are here right now. Like you're a parent, you're like, oh, they just going through puberty, but maybe they're not. Maybe something happened to them and they just need someone that they could trust to talk to. And you're like, oh, that's my child. They're going to come and talk to me. But have you created a safe space for them to feel like it is okay to talk to you? Ripple effects. See what I'm saying? It could either be hurtful or it could be healing. I hope that this Nurturing Conversation podcast has been a safe space and continue to be a safe space. I hope that I can create a culture of healing where we have been through so much in our lives where now it's like, you know what? We're not going to keep dwelling on the fact that we got hurt. We're not going to keep dwelling on the fact that we don't have. We're going to start to get. We're going to be healed. We're going to make sure the people around us get and be healed. We're going to make sure we're all good. That's what I want. That's my hopes, dreams, my intentions for the Nurturing Conversations podcast. Thank you all for being here. If you feel so inclined, go ahead and hit that like button. If you are on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you are on Twitch, go ahead and hit the follow button. I do, just a little bit about me. I do have the Nurturing Conversations podcast, and this is where I talk about taboo topics and things that I feel people should talk about, but we don't. I mean, we talk about it in our heads, but we don't really be saying things out loud because I don't know if we are afraid that we might have to deal with it. I don't know. But I have the Nurturing Conversations podcast on my YouTube. I go live every Tuesday for game night, Saturday for Saturday Night Vibes, which is live karaoke, and Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, I do community puzzles, and Sunday night at 7, I do the Nurturing Conversations podcast. On my Twitch, I am live all the time. I'm playing video games, meditating. I got cooking for therapy, which I'm also going to start doing it on my YouTube. I do karaoke. I do live karaoke on TikTok too. So I'm really everywhere. I'm on all social platforms at Shell's Closet or Midwest Hummingbird. I truly appreciate you taking this time out on your Sunday to come and hang out with me. This has been a Nurturing Conversations podcast. I'm going to end it like I end every live that I will forever do. It is important that you use your words. That is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling or what you are thinking. And I say that and you're probably like, that's so... I say that because sometimes we be thinking because we've been in relationships with people or we've known people for their entire lives that they just know what we are thinking or what we are feeling, when in reality, if we never vocalize it, they do not know. It is also important for you to love yourself. This includes your faults, fears, and failures because we love ourselves when we got that job, that guy, that girl, that car, that house. We got that money. We just popping. We that person. We love ourselves. But we also need to love ourselves despite our faults, despite our fears, and our failures. We need to know ourselves. You know what's you and you know what's not you. Just be you. That's all. Just be you. Trust yourself. Now, when I say trust, sometimes I'm just going to I'm going to tell y'all some of the feelings that I be having. When the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or you ever get goosebumps, or that feeling in the pit of your stomach, or there's a loud or a small voice, trust that because it's not going to lead you wrong. It's only there to protect you. You got to trust that. And for the love of humanity, just be yourself. Why? Because you need you. I need you. This great big old world needs you to be exactly who you were created to be. You were born to just be that. The world needs you to be that. Now, we have survived a global fucking pandemic for 3 years. We are still surviving and people don't talk about it as much as they used to, but we're still surviving it. If you pay attention to the news, we're still surviving it. It is important that you live your best fucking life. Live it. Whatever you ever wanted to do in your life, now is the perfect time for you to do it. If you fail, so what? Take what worked and didn't work, learn from it and try it again or move on. And understand the importance of setting boundaries. Sometimes you have to set boundaries with your family members. Set them. And stand 10 toes down on them. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, you should, whether it's your local news or national news. Pay attention to the news so you will be in the know of what's going on. Also, make sure you get some toiletries, non-perishable food items, water, disinfectants, and some cash money as well as coins to the side. Because do y'all remember 3 years ago when you went to get a bottle of water and people were selling water for like $5? A roll of toilet tissue was like $10, $15. You probably like, you exaggerated. No. Go back to 3 years. I remember people were going and buying like bulks of it and selling it. We couldn't get it. Some of the stuff you couldn't get. I still got, disinfectant. Now I got a lot of stuff. I checked the dates on some of the stuff. I got some meal prep things. I'm gonna get me some more of them. But make sure you and your family are good. If you're an adult, engage in adult activities. Make sure that you wrap it up because again, the STD rates are rising. That's all I got. Thank you all for being here. Until next time, I love you. Peace.